Live now. All right, guys, how are you doing tonight? I'm so glad to see some of my friends. One of my oldest friends that came to one of my first clinics. He's been here for so much of the evolution. Rick. I've got my other friend Nick. Nick is from down under, and Nick is trying the over the top miracle swing, and he is getting results. I've enjoyed seeing his posts on Instagram, and I'm happy to share them to my story because Nick's life has been changed. And this is the opportunity that I'd like to present you guys with. I want to change your life. Abdul, I see you in here. Sean from Louisville, Kentucky. Guys, all of you know me as a golf influencer, a guy who's out there trying to dig it out of the dirt, just like everybody else. I got 25 million views on YouTube with people watching me create a swing that was good enough that the Golf Channel hired me to swing as Ben Hogan. But can you believe, even the heights that I'd made it to, that there was something better? Would you want something better? We're golfers. We're always trying to upgrade. But I will tell you this, I have not had a single epiphany over the last 2 years that can trump the over the top miracle swing. I called it a miracle for a reason. How would you like it if you could step up to a tee box with no warm up and stripe a drive in front of a dozen pros and not be nervous? Can you imagine what that would feel like? That's what I did last Tuesday. We had a huge skins game. Guys who played in the US Open, the Masters. I got told my tee time was moved up. I didn't have time to do a full warm up. They're like, they need you on the tee. I run up there. I set up, go OTT, hit a pull cut up the left side that gently faded right back into the middle of the fairway. One of the guys yells out, "Old Faithful." And one of the other pros named Brian was like, "Christo, that was a good swing. Nice shot." And so I just, took off, down the fairway. And that's the promise. That's the thing, is like, it's a miracle because I don't have to spend hours on the driving range. It's a miracle because I finally felt confident enough with my golf swing that I could go work on my short game. Everybody has a limited amount of time. It's a miracle, guys, because I can give it to other people. That's the craziest thing. Would you like to have a swing that you don't have to constantly, hours and hours a week, go and hit balls every day? Would you like to hit the ball further than ever? I'm 80 yards longer than when I started. I'm going to tell you this. The longest I could hit a ball was about 250 when I started my swing evolution. I hit a ball 330 on one of the longest holes, flat holes with no wind in the last skins game. I used to hit a hybrid into it. When I got better, I'd hit 5 or 6 iron. I had 136 yards left and hit a pitching wedge into a 500-yard hole. Or it was like 470 something, 480 or whatever. I'm like, I've never been up here. And I was playing with a guy who played in 4 US Opens at the time, and I blew it about 50 yards past him. So, guys, that's the miracle. That's what I want to share with you guys. Okay, so I'm going to go through all 7 steps of the over-the-top miracle swing. They're all here in my OTT checklist, okay? So I'm going to go through them one at a time, but first I'm going to show you the introduction to my new 7 Sacred Steps over-the-top miracle swing program. This is a program that I'm offering, okay? This is a program that is the highest production value instruction video course ever made, as far as I know. We shot on the same cameras they used to shoot Top Gun 2, okay? It's crazy. It's shot at 3 of the best golf courses in the country. Well, I mean, we filmed at the Grand Del Mar in San Diego, 5-star resort, had the entire range to ourselves. Okay, so that's just absolutely incredible. And then I filmed at Champions Golf Club in Houston, Texas, where I interviewed Jackie Burke, one of the OTT masters. Jackie Burke, oh my gosh, he won the Masters and the PGA in 1 year. And he was one of Ben Hogan's closest friends. And I asked him about the swing. I said, Mr. Burke, it seems to me that the swing is like a throw. He said, it is. It's the same. It's the same as if you picked up a rock and threw it. So guys, what I'm talking about here is something that's so simple. If you had to strike somebody out and you're standing on a pitcher's mound, let me ask you a question. You got two choices, okay? You can strike them out throwing an overhand fastball, or you can strike them out by throwing an underhand softball pitch. Which one are you going to choose? Number two, you've got to race to swim across a river to save your life because you've got crocodiles in there. Are you going to swim like this, or are you going to do the backstroke across the river? Okay. Now, if you're going to serve a tennis ball, if you had to beat somebody playing tennis, would you serve the tennis ball with a forehand, or would you put the ball up in the air and would you serve overhand like so? I'm going to imagine you probably come to the same conclusion that I did. Okay. These are all over motions. Okay. Throwing a baseball, serving a tennis ball, swimming across a river to save your freaking life. Everybody in golf is teaching this. It's a fad. It's wrong. It's BS. It's hurting golfers' games. And I can speak firsthand because even I got sucked into it. When you see practically everyone on the internet teaching this club going back outside the hands and then dropping it back and then it's under and then you're wrestling it the whole way, I fell for it. And then that's how I hurt my back a few months before I discovered OTT. Well, guess what? I haven't had any back trouble since I've been going over the top. Now, if you're older, like I'm 54, I'm looking at the best golf of my life in front of me. And that's what I wish for every one of you guys is the best golf. That's not hard. I have not had a single day that I've gone to the golf course in 2 years where I had any question if I would be able to leverage the club. Okay. If you really want to compress the golf ball, you have to leverage the shaft. So the shaft kicks into the golf ball and the shaft works with you. Otherwise, if you're just swinging the club head, you're just bouncing the ball off the face of the club head. Okay. If you're not using the shaft and getting it to spring, then you're not really compressing the golf ball. Going OTT is the first time in my life that I realized, oh my God, you can feel it in your hands that you're going to spring the shaft. That's the secret to compression. And I'm going to go through every single step of it tonight. But real quick, I just want to jump in here and say thanks to Billy Bothan, one of my investors. Welcome aboard. I didn't even realize you snuck in here. Oh my gosh. Kim, Adam, students of mine who have come around. Richard, great to see you. Guys, this is a revolution. This is the beginning of a movement. This is the fastest growing movement in golf, according to Golf Influencer. And he's been around since the beginning of golf YouTube. Okay, that's quite an honor to be told that and to be given that mantle. But I'm going to tell you guys, we're here for two reasons. One is to get you to play the best golf of your life. And two is to change the world of golf forever. Okay. I've put together the golf swing in a way that it's never been put together before. The original champions understood this, but I will tell you, I don't think anyone created a step-by-step system to pass it along. And that's why I believe you're witnessing history right now, folks. That's a really, really incredible place for me to have wound up. I don't know how, but it's almost like fate just kind of dragged me along in this direction. You may not know this, but I was a karate champion. I grew up studying martial arts and ballet. I mean, well, I was also a pro ballet dancer, but I'll have to get into that in a second. I started golf and martial arts the same year, about 1977, when I was 8 years old. And I played really okay golf. I was never a great golfer. I only shot in the 70s twice when I played in high school. And, that was pretty remarkable. Those were those days where the, sky opens up and the angels come down and everything worked perfectly. And I was able to break 80. But those were kind of flukes, I guess you would have to say. And then I didn't play golf for 4 years. I quit the game because it was just too hard for me, but I continued doing martial arts and I became the Florida Open Karate champion, Florida Games, won the Region 9 Olympic trials. Then I was invited into I was in a karate movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme starred in the first version of that movie called No Retreat, No Surrender. I was in part 3. And then I decided that I wanted to make karate movies. And then, then I wound up, of all things, being a professional ballet dancer. And that was because I was studying theater in college, and you have to study voice and dance. But the thing about martial arts and ballet is they are more complicated than, just about anything. Ballet is the hardest, and they're highly rotational. Okay. So if I'm going to throw a punch at somebody, okay, the power doesn't just come from this right arm. It comes from the left shoulder going back. Okay, these two things work together. This is the exact same thing that I do in my golf swing. Okay, now if you're going to do pirouettes like Baryshnikov and you take all this force and you're going to turn and spin as fast as you can, that's the same as a golf swing. I load into the ground. This is sacred step 3 and 4. And then I blast open my body. These are the things that make me unique as a golf instructor. I didn't learn the swing in a bubble at a country club with a bunch of teachers that are like, this is the only way to swing. Now, real quick, would you like to hear the secret of the over-the-top miracle swing? I know you do. Okay. So I'm going to tell you how I see the golf swing. It's completely different than the way anybody's ever shown it to me. Now, I think everybody probably remembers Ben Hogan's pane of glass picture. You see the pane of glass over his shoulders, and he wanted you to swing underneath that. Well, most everybody teaches the golf swing today like it's a tilted merry-go-round. The swing is on a inclined plane, okay? And they want everything to be perfectly on plane, back and through. In fact, I got in a conversation with this guy on Instagram who was like, look how perfect this club is on plane. And I said, why do you want to do that? Because it's perfectly on plane. And I wrote him back a second time. I said, yeah, I see that it's on plane, but why are you trying to do that? And the guy didn't have an answer. He's like, because you hit it straighter. It's like, that's ridiculous. That's not true at all, because all the great players from the past took the club back to the inside. So they weren't on that plane. Okay. So instead of trying to keep it perfectly on plane like this, the old timers like Jackie Burke and Arnold Palmer, they took it back inside like this. Like if I was going to throw a ball, I'm going to take it back inside and up, like so. Now, the OTT move gets us into position so that the second half of the swing, which is not on a perfect plane like this, second half of the back of the swing comes back inside like this. This is the first circle. You go OTT, and then you just rock the baby back on the other side. That's all the swing is. And I'm the only person who sees that. I think it's because I'm an outsider. I finally figured it out. I'm like, oh my God. Even Tom Watson said that. I've got a video clip in my program where he talks about he figured out the golf swings going over the top so he can come back to the inside. And it's so funny. It's so funny. But even Tom Watson wound up thinking that everything's on this perfect inclined plane. He's trying to now explain OTT as being on a perfect inclined plane because I think somebody talked him out of his own epiphany. And I'm like, what in the world? I was watching his instructional video. I'm like, no, Tom, it is inside and over the top, just like it feels. We're really taking the club back inside and putting it on plane through the hit and then back to the inside. We got to turn the corner. So I'm going to go through all 7 sacred steps. But before we jump into that, I want to share with you 3 minutes. I just want to share with you 3 minutes of the golf instructional program that is going to change the world. Okay? This is the Over the Top Miracle Swing, and it's my absolute honor. I'm so indebted to my partners in this business venture because our goal is to make golf easier, simpler for everybody in the world. So let's jump over here and let's watch this 3-minute introduction, and I'll pick it up on the other side.
Do you believe in miracles? Thousands of golfers all around the world are already believers. Prepare to dive into the fastest growing movement in golf, the over-the-top miracle swing. This game-changing system is the brainchild of golf sensation, Cristo Garcia, the man who swung as Ben Hogan in the Golf Channel.
In the whole decade I'd been doing my swing evolution, I never once entertained the thought of going over the top.
Most of the greatest golfers in history used over-the-top swings before modern instructors began spreading new theories on how to swing the club. In a sport overwhelmed by modern theories, which have left many golfers grappling with swing confusion, the original champion's golf swing has resurfaced to rescue golf enthusiasts, saving them precious time, effort, and money. Most golfers instinctively swing over the top because it creates the most leverage.
Oh, that was easy.
Now, they are learning how to swing OTT properly and fix bad over-the-top swings with just a couple of tweaks.
I don't know what to say. I'm speechless, but thank you.
It just looks so easy.
Shot a 69.
Wow.
It's clicked in. So this whole inside over the top deal is just makes it so much easier.
The 7 sacred steps of the over-the-top miracle swing is a course specifically designed to end the swing confusion that modern golf instruction has created.
You just found something, in my opinion, that was just hidden right underneath our noses. And if you just listen to what you're sharing and why it works, it makes perfect sense. It's the last swing people are going to try, period.
What are your opinions about the modern swing versus the way you were taught the game?
Well, I think it's it's what they do today. Do I like it? No. I think it's harder on the body.
Featuring appearances by golf's biggest names, this video series distills Cristo's wealth of hidden swing secrets into one single comprehensive system.
Woo! I love your swing.
Avoid the new age trap of connection disruption and experience the vintage power of the original champion's golf swing.
The amount of emails you were getting from golfers from all across the world and how this was impacting their game and instantly improving their game. I said, we have to bring this to the world. We have to get this to as many golfers as possible.
Avoid the new age trap of connection disruption and experience the vintage power of the original champion's golf swing. Get ready to believe in miracles. This is the over-the-top miracle swing.
All right, guys. So I see that little introduction video and I'm just thinking back to sitting on Jack Nicklaus's couch. And he said, Golf Channel, they're making a special about Ben Hogan. I just did an interview for it. I said, Jack, they actually hired me to swing as Ben Hogan's double. And he goes, really? You must be a pretty good golfer. Like, Jesus, man. I got Jack Nicklaus telling me you must be a pretty good golfer. So if you can imagine the journey I've been on, it has been a dream come true. And I want you to come on the same journey as well. So at any rate, this is what we're here for, okay? This is the 7 sacred steps of the over-the-top miracle swing. And everybody who picks up the program is going to get this over-the-top checklist, okay? So this is wonderful. Now, I think the most important thing to remember is, guys, I want you to play the best golf of your life. I would have paid $1 million if you could have told me when I started this journey that I'd have the game that I have and I can hold up under pressure and hit solid golf shots. It's priceless, okay? But I have a money back guarantee for everybody. So if you don't like it and if it doesn't work, no questions asked, I'll refund your money. But I know it works. If you go to the page and read the number of testimonials, I've got about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 video testimonials and dozens of written testimonials of people from around the world who are like, oh my God, they can't believe it. They're hitting the best shots of their life. And it's just really a wonderful place for me to be, because the whole point of my swing evolution was to share my journey to figure out how the golf swing works, search for Ben Hogan's secret. But I'm telling you, these secrets that I'm sharing you in this 2.5-hour program are life-changing. I don't think you ever need anything else. Again, I honestly believe whether you're a beginner, I coach pros too. I teach them all the same thing. I have beginners, I teach them the 7 sacred steps, and I have professionals and I teach them the 7 sacred steps. My friend Danny, who's won pro golf events, his lowest round is 62. He holds the course record at Diamond Bar. He is a multi-time club champion, and he got into this dropping it under push draw thing. And now he is just ripping 300 plus yard drives with this OTT move. And he's ecstatic. He's 45 years old. And he's like, Christo, my best golf is in front of me. And it's so incredible. So before we get into this, I want to tell you about a mission statement. So if you can imagine, we're here to be a part of something. Would you like to be a part of something that's going to change the world of golf forever? Would you like to have your fingerprints on golf history? Would you like to be the first person that can say, hey, I understood how the swing works with the over-the-top motion back in Christmas 2023? Like, that'd be a pretty cool place to be, because I'm telling you, 10, 15, 20 years from now, I think that this swing is not only going to be one of the swings that lasts. This is the original champion's golf swing finally broken down biomechanically so that it can be passed along. We're going to be certifying over-the-top swing instructors, miracle swing instructors. We're going to be giving big clinics, vacation packages where I'm going to be inviting legends of the game to work with students. Like, we're taking this all the way. So before we get started, I wanted to read you the mission statement for the over-the-top miracle swing and our statement of purpose. Okay. So this is something that's a long time coming, but this is from my heart, and I want you to hear this. The miracle swing movement is not just a revolution. It's a journey back to the essence of the game, a global fellowship committed to simplifying the game by uniting golfers from today with the timeless wisdom from the past. Okay, that's our mission statement. And our purpose is, at the heart of every golf swing lies a story waiting to be told. An amalgamation of timeless wisdom, unwavering determination, and the indomitable spirit of champions who have graced the fairways before us. The miracle swing movement is a celebration of the artistry of golf, an ode to the champions whose elegant strokes and unyielding passion have left an indelible mark on the sport. Our purpose is to unite golfers from every corner of the globe under a shared belief: the magic of the game lies in its simplicity. We strive to distill the complexities, demystify the nuances, and to rediscover the joy inherent in every swing. And I'm here to give it to you guys today. I have it. I'm playing in my skins game tomorrow, and I can't wait. In fact, I have to text my new friend, National Public Links champion, Tim Hogarth. He played in the Masters in 1997 when Tiger Woods won by 12 strokes. And he came up to me in the bar after the last skins game where I won all my side bets and won a little skins money. And he came over and he goes, Christo, I went to your website. I really like what you're doing. And so I'm like, Tim, are you messing with me? He's like, no, I think that what you're doing to preserve the game, this, he's in his 50s too. He gets it. Okay. So I want you to go to the website, check out our offer. It's incredible. Okay. You not only get the 7 sacred steps of the over the top miracle swing, you get the over the top checklist. You get a $300 voucher that's worth more than the whole program costs if you want to come to study at an intensive with me, a miracle swing experience with a group of great golfers and other professional teachers. I'm going to have the most incredible intensives going forward. Okay. Actually, I'm going to stop calling them intensives because they're not that scary. They're really an experience, a life-changing experience. I want to change your life the same way my life has been changed. It's about health, wellness, peace of mind on the golf course. I think we all want to have peace of mind out there, and really, really demystifying the game so we can walk the fairways like the champions before us. Okay, so let's get into the over-the-top miracle swing. Number one is a simple setup. Okay, so I am friends with some of the Rinker family in Florida. They had 3 family members on tour. Okay, I talked to Larry Rinker on Twitter. He's in Orlando, and Lori is from the coast of Florida. And so Lori told me years ago, she said, Christo, 90% of the swing is taken care of before I even take the club back. So let me ask you a question. Would you like to have 90% of the swing taken care of before you take the club back? Of course. Of course. We build our swing into our setup. Okay. So you want to have a simple, repeatable setup. So in this first section, I go through the magical 4 inches. Okay. So let me tell you how I figured out the magical 4 inches. Now, I'm friends with Andy Brummer. He's the writer of The Impact Zone with Bobby Clampett. And I worked with Bobby Clampett just after he finished The Impact Zone. I was producing a TV show for CBS Sports. And Bobby Clampett told me, he said, when we got that BizHub Swing Vision camera that's like, 2,000 frames a second, we finally could look at impact of all these top professionals. And what I saw was that every professional with an iron had a low point 4 inches in front of the golf ball. And I was like, wow, that's pretty fascinating. And if you've ever seen Bobby Clampett hit a golf ball, he can flat smash it. And guess what? I did a trace of his swing over the top. He was one of the best ball strikers in the world when he got out on tour, and he had an inside and over the top original champions golf swing. But I'm going to tell you a real quick story. Bobby Clampett, after his 82 British Open, he was leading the British by 7 strokes. He decided to change his golf swing. And next thing you know, he's up in that booth. So at any rate, that's my Bobby Clampett story about the low point being 4 inches forward. Now, what happened was they came out with force plates like 5 years later. And would you know the average professional shifts their weight 4 inches in the golf swing? So your center of gravity moves forward 4 inches, and your low point magically matches it and moves 4 inches forward. If you can't facilitate this move, which you build into your setup, you have to understand your ball position, because the way you play great golf is your ball position in relation to the bottom of your swing arc. So that's the magical 4 inches. And it's a really, really crucial part of the golf swing. And that's one of the things I go through in a simple setup. You know, a couple of the other things we go through is a waggle. One of the craziest things I realized is Tiger Woods has had an incredible influence on the game of golf. And one of the things that he did is, if you notice, Tiger Woods doesn't waggle. He steps up to the ball and he zones in like a robot, and he gets into that like Vulcan mind meld over the ball. And then he takes it back and hits it. But it's harder to do it that way. To me, I want to dance it in. I want to feel my weight shifting back and forth. Every time you're taking a step in life, you're actually falling and rebalancing from side to side. This is the same motion that we have in a swing, and we want to feel that before we get into our setup. So we want to dance it in with a nice little waggle, and we want to have a trigger move where we press our weight into our lead side, and then that gives us a little momentum to drag back our trail side, take the club back inside and up. And that's all a part of a simple setup. So guys, ask yourself, would you want to have a setup that you know shot after shot is perfect? It's simple and easy to reproduce. The setup is crucial for you to be able to play elite level golf. And I'll tell you what else, when I go to the driving range, I can tell exactly what level a golfer is from their setup. When I play in the skins game with these top amateurs and pros, you can see it when they set up to the golf ball. So you want to set up that same way. So real quick, let's talk about sacred step number 2, which is the deep takeaway. Now, I want to show you something that's super duper cool, okay? Now, this is another thing that is incredibly awesome about the OTT checklist. Nobody else in golf has this, okay? So I'm going to hit this scan button right here, okay? Now, all of a sudden, it takes me to the deep takeaway. And what do you have here? What do you know? Bam. The QR code on each page takes you to a mini video lesson from the over-the-top miracle swing. Okay, guys, let's talk about sacred step number 2 of the over-the-top miracle swing, and it's the deep takeaway. A deep connected takeaway will help you initiate a move off the ball. It's going to ignite your core power and help you hit the ball with the most power time after time. So this is just so crazy. So I don't even want to stop it. I want to watch the whole video. So sacred step number 2, this is one of the important distinctions of the over-the-top miracle swing. We take the club back to the inside. Everybody else is teaching people to swing the club back down the target line with the club head outside of the hands. I was just watching a video about how Ricky Fowler fixed his swing. He always took the club back with the club head back outside of his hands, and then the weight of that club head would flip back and under, and then he's, fighting with it the whole rest of the way home. Ricky's taking the club head back more to the inside now. I would tell him, dude, take it back all the way to the inside. That's one of the things that's crazy to me is when I look at all these greats like Sam Snead, Bobby Jones, and Arnold Palmer, they took the club back way to the inside. And the last time I hit golf balls, I'm fooling around like, how far inside can I take this sucker? It's the more inside I take it, the more power I feel like I have. It's crazy. So that's the first major distinction. Now I'm going to tell you about my student, Bob. Bob is in his mid-60s. He's playing the best golf of his life with the over-the-top miracle swing. And he's done it all, okay? And he told me he does the Roger Dunn move that I teach in here, where you take your left hand and feel like you're reaching in your back pocket, your right pocket on the backswing, because we want to take the club back deep to the inside. And Bob told me I basically go brain dead after my takeaway. It just all, the rest of the swing takes care of itself. If you have a great deep connected takeaway, this swing becomes very automatic. Okay. Wouldn't you like to have an automatic golf swing? That's what we all want. And it's easier if you take the club back to the inside. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you one of my thoughts right here is what I call rock the baby. You've seen that I say that the first circle is inside and up. It's not on this genie like perfect plane. We have two hips and two shoulders. We have, it's impossible to keep the club on a perfect plane. You have to be super flexible with your spine if you're going to be able to do what Adam Scott does. Let me just say, but anybody can do this. Okay. So we're going to rock the baby. I want you to rock the baby. You can do this the exact same way 10 million times in a row. Do you see these guys online that are like taking the club head back down the line and the club head outside their hands, and they're like obsessively repeating it? It's like, I see all these tour players, they're like, oh crap, if I don't take this club back right, then my whole swing is going to fall apart. You can rock the baby the same way forever. Okay, that's what you have to have, is a dependable, repeatable takeaway. It's going to allow you to coil so you get the most power, and so you can hit the ball consistently, shot after shot. Okay, now I want you guys to think about how much better your golf game would be if you had a guaranteed takeaway that was the same way every single time. Now, I'll tell you something Gary Player told me that Ben Hogan told him in 1957 about this inside takeaway, deep to the inside. Gary Player went to Mr. Hogan, and Hogan congratulated him because he just won a big golf tournament. And Gary Player was kind of down. He said, but Mr. Hogan, people are telling me I should pack up and move back to South Africa. And Hogan said, why? And he said, because they told me my swing was too flat. And he said, Hogan leaned into him and he had these bright blue eyes and he stared at him in the face and he said, your swing can't be too flat. We want to take the club back to the inside, folks. Just lifting the arms off the body crap, that's the beginning of a disconnected golf swing, and you'll be wrestling the club the whole rest of the way down to the ball. So at any rate, I know that there's a lot of questions in here. It's hard for me to keep up with it, but I'm going to try and get to them in a little bit. I've got one of my friends, Gabe, working with me here. But let's talk about sacred step number 3. This is the power shift, okay? The power shift is one of the keys of the original champions. When you look at Bobby Jones and Jackie Burke, Arnold Palmer, look, Hogan had the most generous power shift in history. I illustrate it in the video lessons. You have to be able to get from your trail side into your lead side, okay? People are trying to time the club head with their shift through the ball. I see it every day on the driving range. I wish I could gather everyone together and give them a lesson, because I see beginners at our range every day, and this is what they do. They swing the club up, and then they shift and swing the club down. You are never going to be consistent if you try and time your shift with the downswing. It's never going to happen. You have to shift before you get to the top of your backswing, guys. You have to set up the shift, because once you go OTT, you have to be able to blast out of your lead side. Remember, I talked about the second part of the swing over here. You set it up on the first part of the swing. You fall into your OTT position so you can blast through the second part of the swing. This is what people don't understand. All of these moves are one symphony of movement. It's just, it feels to me like it's one move. Okay. It doesn't feel like backswing, stop, and then downswing. Okay. I actually break it down in 3 sections. Okay. there's the backswing, the transition, and the downswing. There's 3 parts to a golf swing. And when you blend all 3 together seamlessly, then you've got a beautiful, beautiful, repeatable golf swing. So that's what we all want, right? Don't you want to have a swing that you can depend on, that is going to repeat day after day? I'm going to tell you something, and this is honest God truth. I have students that tell me, is it this easy? It can't be this easy. They're like, all of a sudden crushing golf balls, compressing it. And if you go to the website, I want you to go to miracleswingexperience.com and check out the testimonials. My friend Will, he wasn't power shifting properly and he wasn't going OTT. The fastest he could swing it was 85 miles an hour. Some of the guys on here were at that Miracle Swing Experience. And then all of a sudden his speed jumps from 85 to 105. He's like, am I reading that right? I can't believe this. And he looks at his golf club. He's like, is this the club that I think it is? Can you imagine picking up 20 miles an hour? I've had it happen several times. I've had many students pick up 20 miles an hour. There's no reason why a full-grown man shouldn't be able to swing 105 miles an hour. I mean, if you're healthy and you've got some flexibility, Will's like 35. That's what I'm talking about. So if you're, way older, of course, we're going to lose a little bit of speed. But I'm saying this young, healthy, athletic guy that plays softball, the most leverage he could get was 85 miles an hour. And then all of a sudden he picks up 20 miles an hour. That's almost 60 yards of distance. Would you like to pick up 60 yards? Now, I'll tell you guys, I've gotten up to, at my fastest, around 120 on TrackMan. And on my SSR, I've even blown through 120 by far. And when I'm swinging that fast, I can hit a ball 330. It is crazy because I'm little. I'm a little guy. I know that you guys would all like to pick up some speed and distance. So the over-the-top Miracle Swing is the way I'm doing that. Hey, Tony. Hey, Blake. Good to have you guys on board. So let's talk about the miracle, okay? Sacred step number 4 is the miracle move. Sacred step number 4 is the move that the top 10 winners in the history of the PGA Tour all do, okay? So I looked it up. I told you about Tom Watson. He said, I finally figured out the golf swing. And do you remember Tom Watson was 59 years old and almost won the British Open? He was doing that with his over-the-top miracle swing. Okay. He actually hit that beautiful 8-iron into the middle of the green, and the green was so hard it bounced over the back. It still breaks my heart that he didn't win that major. But my God, what a fight he put up. He was the best ball striker that week. Okay. And he said he figured out the golf swing. And he said, I got tired of pushing the ball out to the right, and I decided to hell with it. I'm going to go over the top like this. And it felt like this. And the next thing you know, that's the way he has swung, okay, for 30 years now. And Tom Watson said that he went 5 years without missing a golf shot. He said they weren't all perfect, like they didn't all go where I wanted, but I didn't miss a golf shot for 5 years. Would you like to not miss a golf ball for 5 years? I'm 2 years into my miracle swing. Now, I haven't flushed every shot, but I've had leverage and sprung the shaft every time. That's the miracle, okay? When we go over here, it's going to give you leverage like you've never felt before. Now, I'm going to show you this right here, okay? Now, if we can imagine, before I was doing this in transition, this idea of like, hey, man, we want to shallow it out. We want to get down like this. I was trying to lay it off and get it under like this. There's no leverage, okay? But check this out. This is the feeling I have, is like, I call it the pump handle move, okay? It's the feeling of a lever This is literal leverage. There's no leverage when it's dropped off and laid under here. Okay. We take it back inside up and over, and then we can feel this tremendous leverage as we pivot and turn. Okay. Number 9, Phil Mickelson, over the top miracle swing. Number 8, Harry Vardon, over the top miracle swing. Number 7, Billy Casper, big over the top miracle swinger. Number 6, Byron Nelson, inside and over the top miracle swinger. Number 5, Arnold Palmer, inside, big over the top miracle swinger. Number 4, Ben Hogan, the biggest surprise to me out of all of them. I thought he dropped under. No, he goes over and pump handles the heck out of the club. He's over the top miracle swinger. Number 3 is Jack Nicklaus. Okay. Over the top miracle swinger. I trace his handle. 1980, when he came back and won the PGA and the US Open and then the 86 Masters, he changed his swing in 1980. Jim Flick told him he was taking it too far, raising his hands up too much. He needed to stay connected and take it back to the inside. Jack Nicklaus said, and that's what I did for the rest of my career. Inside and over the top, just like Tom Watson. Okay, won 3 majors and all those senior majors doing the OTT move. Number 2, the person I first saw doing it, Tiger Woods. Remember when he was doing those OTT swing rehearsals where he swung down low left? I'm like, what in the heck is Tiger Woods doing? He's working on his inside over the top golf swing. Okay, and number 1, PGA champion, Masters champion, and also British Open champion, 82 wins, Sam Snead, the greatest over-the-top miracle swing in history, probably. This is history. The top 10 winners in the history of the PGA Tour all had the miracle move. I want you to have the miracle move because I want you to change your life forever. Change your game, change your life. My life has changed. It's priceless, and we have a money-back guarantee. So I know you want to do this, okay? I know you want to play the best golf of your life. I went to the golf course or to the golf store the other day, and a Paradigm driver was $600. Oh, my God. And there's fools out there buying that driver thinking it's going to fix their slice, just like I thought it. But then I bought that Ben Hogan book, and it's knowledge. It's sacred knowledge that's going to change your life. Okay, that's the bottom line. And the sacred knowledge is not complicated. It's just not complicated. So let's talk about a perfect impact. Now, if you don't know how to emulate your impact position, it's difficult. Okay, you have to be able to set up and know how we're going to impact the golf ball. Now, oh, well, look at right behind me. There's Ben Hogan right there. So there's my Ben Hogan impact position. I actually drew that with a Sharpie because I couldn't find it online. We want our hips to be opening. We want to be pressing out of this left leg. We want to be pulling our left shoulder back. Okay, this is going to actually pull the handle up as we're going through the shot. The handle is pulling up. This is what I call the push-pull. I go through the push-pull to teach you the feeling of a perfect impact. And I'll tell you, when I'm demonstrating the push-pull, I've got an 8-iron. And I'm going to tell you a story. I was with George Gankus, and he was having me work on this half swing drill. George is super cool. I went to talk to him about the over-the-top miracle swing. He's like, yeah, Brooks Koepka, Victor Hovland, these guys all do the move. Okay. And George teaches matchups. And he's like, look at their grip, look at their release pattern. It all matches up and they hit the crap out of the ball. And so he asked me, he was like, okay, I want to see you do a half swing. And so I did it, and I did the push pull with an 8-iron. I hit the ball 157 yards with a half swing. And he's like, holy crap. And I was like, is that real? He's like, you bet it's real. And that's the key to knowing how to get out of your lead leg. We were working on this move. He was blown away because he's like, can you jump up in the air and turn your body? And so I jumped up and did a double. And he's like, holy crap, you're the best rotator I've ever seen in my life. And so Joe asked a quick question. Should your head always be behind the ball at impact? With a driver, yes, but not with an iron. Okay, so the question is your ball position. You have to understand where your low point is in relation to the golf ball. And the second thing is with a driver, the ball's teed up. Okay, so we're going to have spine tilt to the rear. The average professional golfer has 25 degrees of spine tilt to the rear. Okay, but when you're hitting a pitching wedge, you want your head over that ball. You want your buttons in front of that golf ball. Okay, just to let you know. Hey, Joe, what if you're a senior and can't rotate? Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, you can probably rotate better than you think. Okay, I can't, I don't have a lot of rotational flexibility in my spine. I can't rotate very well, but I'm not rotating. I'm pivoting. Watch the difference. Okay, Joe, check this out. So what I'm doing is I'm just rocking the baby. I'm really not turning very much. I'm rocking the baby. I shift my weight, go over the top and rock the baby. Okay, where people are screwing up is this idea of X factor. God bless you, Jim McLean. He's one of my good friends. Okay, but this idea of winding the shoulders up against the lower body, this is what's killing people's backs. Okay, I open my hips with my shoulders. Okay, and then I get set, and then I open my hips with my shoulders. So it looks like I'm turning a lot and I have this big rotation, but I'm not really turning. I'm just pivoting. My body's moving in a circular motion, but that's really what it comes down to. Yes, short shots, weight on front foot. Okay, I can't stop too much. I got two more. Turning the corner. I just posted a video of Tiger Woods today on Instagram working with some college kids. And he tells him, he's like, way to turn that corner. Okay. And I'm like, dude, that's sacred step number 6, Tiger. Tiger Woods knows what turning the corner is. If you're not turning the corner, you're not finishing your swing. Okay, the swing is one perfectly balanced symphony of movement. Okay, so we want to be able to turn the corner. The biggest problem, I'm going to tell you right now, oh my God, it's a swing killer. People have this idea. I was taught it by a PGA professional. It's the worst advice I ever got in my life. He's like, keep that club face square to the target line, down towards the target as long as you can. That way you're going to hit the ball perfectly straight. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard now. It's like, it's never going to, it's impossible. It's impossible to do it. What I teach is slamming a door. Okay, we turn the corner. We slam the door. I can slam a door 10,000 times and it's only going to hit that door jamb one way, and that's perfectly square. That's what we want to do with our golf swing. So after you slam the door, where's the door going to go? It's going to swing back to the inside. Okay, you're going to turn the corner. You have to be turning the corner to maintain your speed and leverage. Okay, so number 7, free finish. Ben Hogan said the secret to a great golf swing is balance at the top of the transition and balance at the finish of the swing. If you're not maintaining your balance, the golf club is swinging you. We want you swinging the golf club, okay? And the sooner you start finishing your golf swings in balance, the sooner your misses are going to disappear. Wouldn't that be nice? I know you'd love to be able to finish that balanced finish like Sam Snead and Ben Hogan. That's what makes you look cool, guys. I want you to look cool out there. And I know you want to look cool too, right? Obviously. Now, the thing that's so incredible is when you do these moves right, the OTT move lands me in my front leg with more balance. That was the biggest thing that was a dead giveaway that I hadn't figured out the golf swing yet, was the lack of balance in my lead foot at the finish of my swing. The OTT miracle move placed me there. It's automatic. Okay, it's built into the swing. So guys, real quick, I'm going to take a look at a couple of these questions here. Joe Dentist, 56 degree, weight on the front foot, 75%. I say 60% in the video, but I want you to experiment. Those short irons, we want a descending angle of attack. Short irons and wedges, I want your weight favoring the front leg, but by the time you get to 8 iron, you can be 50-50. How does the short game differ? Sean, it doesn't. The miracle move is the essence of it is the same, okay? The essence of the miracle move is you have to continue turning around your lead leg. Poor chippers are guys who just stop and dump the club. Great chippers, their left shoulder keeps turning back. Remember when I was talking about that? You throw a punch and the left shoulder has to keep moving, okay? Now, there are some guys, I've fooled around with the little over-the-top move in chipping. It's doable for sure, but the most important thing is when I talked about rocking the circle back to the inside. The inside OTT move gives you great power. When you're shooting a delicate shot, you just move to the second half of the swing. You're just working on the inside circle part of the swing, and that's all a baby shot is. So it is all part of one program. Yes, Met, this is available worldwide. We're changing the world. Yes. And real quick, what I want to do in these last couple of minutes, I'd like to share with you the over-the-top miracle swing, the page, because I want to walk you through these testimonials. It's just incredible. So we're going to share my screen, okay? And I'm going to start off here at the top. Okay, we have 4 hours left to pick up the over-the-top miracle swing. I hope you guys are going to come on board because I'm trying to do you a favor. I want to change your life. I know you want to finally put to rest worrying about your golf swing, and this is going to do it. So this is the 7 sacred steps. It's only $247. The regular retail price is $495, and it's worth every single penny of $495. And I'll tell you a quick story. If you want to really invest in your golf swing, you have to have some skin in the game. I gave this 7 video series to a friend of mine who's a golfer who's like struggling, blah, 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 blah. And the dude hasn't even watched it yet. I give it to him for free, one of my friends. He's got no skin in the game. He's like, oh, I'll get to it whenever. You have to be committed too. If you want to be the best golfer you can be, you have to commit. Okay, you have to commit to being a doer and not a diddler, not a dabbler. You have to be a doer. Okay, 30 back, money back guarantee. John is my student. He quit in the middle of a golf lesson, a 2-hour golf lesson, 90 minutes in. He's like, I'm going to beat the traffic home. I get it. Keith, he picked up 50 to 60 yards on his driver. David, he stopped hurting his back. He came out for an intensive, and it was intense. He hit bucket after bucket and had no pain in his back for the first time in his life. Now you can see it here. Classic swing instruction, step-by-step sequence to hitting the best shots of your life. Here it is. Simple setup. Number 1, deep takeaway. Distinction number 2, power shift. We need to get in that lead side early. The miracle move takes you into position to leverage the shaft. Sacred step number 5 is a perfect impact. I want you slamming that door and hitting straight shots time after time. Number 6 is turning the corner. And number 7 is the free finish. Plus, you get the full 24-minute introduction video, a $47 Miracle Swing OTT checklist booklet with the short video series, and a $300 Miracle Swing experience voucher. Okay, this is $2,500 in business for $247. One time only. I want you guys to have this right now for this Black Friday through Cyber Monday sale. I want you playing the best golf of your life. Now look at these testimonials. Couldn't believe how solid I was hitting the ball. I'm crushing the ball straight and long. It is a miracle swing. It starts flying terrific. You couldn't be more correct in your analysis of the OTT miracle swing. My swing is returning some of its old magic. I've literally never compressed the ball like that. I feel like a kid again. Look at these incredible testimonials. Unbelievable. So guys, I love you to death. I'm going to stop sharing this screen right now. How do I stop sharing this? Okay, boom, boom, boom. Okay, now I'm back. So guys, that's it. That's the over the top miracle swing. I love you. I want you to be a part of the fastest growing movement in golf. And then before you know it, I want it to be the biggest movement in golf. And we're going to do it. This is a global phenomenon. People are realizing this is the easiest way to hit the golf ball. The old masters had it right. But even the old masters didn't have it broken down like I do. And I think it's because of teaching martial arts for years and years that I just see the way the body leverages in a completely different way than all of my friends that are contemporary instructors. And God bless anyone who's trying to help people hit the ball better. This is the best advice I can give you. And I truly believe it's a miracle. So, all right. Well, that's my presentation. Gabe, are you still there? Do you want to say hello?
Yeah, I'm just in my living room, just trying to respond to some comments. And I think that was a great presentation, Christo. And, you know, we're getting signups every day and people telling us that it's impacting their games. And it's as simple as that. And like you're saying, we're keeping it simple, which a lot of sites don't do. They have hundreds and hundreds of videos on there. And you've just created a very simple system, you know, over the last 14 years of your journey and the results you've gotten for your students. So that's all I got to say, you guys. Price is doubling in 4 hours, 247 to 500. And yeah, we hope you join us and play the best golf of your life.
So, Joe, if you see that link that Gabriel just posted in the chat box, you just go to miracleswingexperience.com. That's how you pick it up. And like we said, you know, the voucher, the booklet, you get an actual physical booklet. So this is so cool. I think that we've done something that nobody else has done.
Yeah, we have free shipping, you know, so it's
Aren't
like
these great? Free shipping. You get your own physical checklist. It's dynamite. Guys, the over the top miracle swing. It's simple. Let's simplify the golf swing. Start hitting the most solid shots of your life. That's all there is to it. So Taze asked, which of the old masters should we watch? Watch Bobby Jones and Sam Snead. Okay, that's all you got to do. Watch Bobby Jones and Sam Snead. They're doing what I teach. I teach it in a way that nobody's ever taught it. The height of cultivation leads to simplicity. So guys, I know that you want to change your life. So I want you to go to miracleswingexperience.com. Get this. It's the best deal I've ever had. This is a six-figure. This production cost over $100,000. Who's producing like this? Nobody in the world of golf. And I want to tip my hat to the investors that have come on board with me to change the world of golf. Until next time, guys, I want you to play the best golf of your life. All of our best golf is ahead of us. And until then, I hope you hit them long and hit them straight.